run a business of telling stories. I make money out of telling stories. And today, I don't have a story to tell you, but I have many, many stories to tell you. When I was a kid, in school, I was one of those children who every child in the class hates. I was one of those children who would score 99 out of 100 marks, but would still go up to the teacher, ask for a supplementary re-inspection to get that 1 mark extra. So there was a dictation test in our class. Dictation hota hai, jisme teacher, she tells the words, and there's a sheet of paper where you're supposed to write it in the correct spelling. So it was a 10-mark dictation test, and 10 words, 1 mark each. When the results came, I had 9 out of 10 marks. I looked at my sheet, and there was a red cross next to a word which was very, very difficult. The word was cat. I could not spell cat correctly. My spelling of cat was K-A-T. Our teacher had taught the spelling of cat as C-A-T. So I go up to the teacher, throw my tantrums, and a classic punishment. My teacher sends me to the last row of the boys' row, last bench of the boys' row. They think, go have fun. So I go there, I meet this boy who scored 3 out of 10 marks. I take his sheet, and I see where he went wrong, and my eye goes right to the word cat. His spelling of cat is Q-E-T, which is wrong. So if I look back, my spelling of cat, which was K-A-T, was wrong, and so was his spelling of cat, which was Q-E-T, was wrong. And my cat was as wrong as his cat. However, I could have argued that my cat is better than his cat because the dictionary recognizes it, because it's the phonetically correct way of spelling a cat. Neil Tyson, in one of his speeches, said how we have made a system where there is one wrong, where there is one answer, and everything else is not an answer, even if they are better answers than the existing answers. Human brain, in the absence of social wiring, is capable of coming up with ideas, of original thoughts, of creative ways of solving stuff. Ideas that are simple, ideas that can bring a difference. Like Kalyani's idea. Kalyani is a friend. She's an entrepreneur. 4 years from now, Kalyani was a 20-year-old kid, college kid who was confused. Kalyani was extremely disheartened to see how people with physical disabilities were not able to find love. प्यार तो सबका होता है, सबको मिलना चाहिए. Kalyani went on to build the world's first matchmaking app for people with physical disabilities. It was a simple idea, simple solution, put together, what a difference. So far, Kalyani and her team, they have matched over 5,000 people with physical disabilities, helped them find love. Has it changed the world? Maybe, maybe not. But it has changed the world for 5,000 people. 2 years back, when I started Chaaipani, I was a college-going student, final year, still trying to figure out ways to make up for a 1 year lost because I dropped out of engineering. While I was on the way over here, a volunteer showed me this river on the way and said it flows in the opposite direction. And I was like, what a rebel. And I was one of those rivers. You put me to engineering, I want to study psychology. You put me to psychology, I want to do journalism. So I would do different part-time jobs, and in one of my jobs where I was working as a journalist, I realized the amazing power of media. The power that media has to manipulate people, the power that media has to change people, to move the society. Media does not only mirror the society, it has the power to move it. Now before I proceed, I want to ask the audience, and you will reply me with applause. How many of you feel upset and depressed after seeing newspapers and news channels? And this was not the way how I wanted to move the world. Is it important to report corruption and crimes and famine, inequality, and holding the power responsible for everything that goes wrong? Definitely yes. However, as much as we have to look where we want to move away from, it is also important to look where we want to move towards. So I went up to every major news media in my city, telling them, give me one column, give me 1 hour slot, 30-minute slot on the TV, where I can tell stories of people who are inspiring. I can tell stories that could inspire the audience to be the better version of themselves. But since every minute on the TV and every centimeter square of a newspaper comes with a cost, has a revenue scale attached to it, nobody agreed. So I went up to the internet, free medium, build a platform, Chaaipani.com, to tell stories of people who are like you, like you. People who are doing incredibly amazing stuff, or people who are battling their daily wars, people who have lessons to share. When I started Chaaipani, did I know how to build a media company? Nope. Did I know how to build a startup? Zero idea. However, I knew one thing, and that one thing was that somebody had to do it. And at that point, the somebody I recognized was me. So I went out, started telling stories of people, and people picked it up. And this was a time when I learned a very good lesson from a little boy, Dinesh, I met in Vizag. Now, I'm a little geographically challenged. I tend to get lost in the easiest of the places. So I was in Vizag trying to explore the place, and I got lost. Add to it, I broke my chappals. So I was looking for somebody to help me, and out of everybody who could not understand what I was trying to say, or I could not understand what they were trying to say, Dinesh was somebody who came up to me, knew English, Hindi, said, "Maine apna didi homework kar liya hai. I will take you to a cobbler." So we started going, and on the way I asked him, "Dinesh, what do you want to become when you grow up?" And Dinesh said, "Computer science engineer banunga." And I asked him, why? Dinesh tells me, बारिश में हमारे घर पे पाइप्स में से पानी गिरता है, और कभी-कभी वो पानी घर के खाने में गिर जाता है, और उस दिन खाना नहीं मिलता. So I want to grow up and I want to fix all the pipes and I want to fix pipes for everybody else. So I told Dinesh, तो उसके लिए computer science engineer नहीं, उसके लिए आपको civil engineer बनना पड़ेगा शायद. So he takes a pause, looks around, looks at me, says, ठीक है तो मैं civil engineer बन जाऊँगा. And this was a very important lesson that Dinesh taught me, that if your why is clear, if your why is strong enough, your how will figure its way out. When I started Chaaipani, probably I did not know how to go about it. I did not know how to build a startup or any of those fancy jargons like Ibitas or your hockey stick. Somebody asked me, what's your hockey stick? And I realized, no, I am not a sports player. I don't know what a hockey stick is. Dinesh made me realize if your why is strong enough, your how will figure out. If your why is strong enough, it will make you run. It will make you not sleep. It will make you do things that can take whatever you've never imagined. And at that point, when your why is so strong, you will give everything you have. When we started Chaaipani, I did not have money to build a platform. I did not have money to pay people. So we turned to the crowd, crowd like you, where we told everybody, okay, contribute from 51 rupees to 5,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees, whatever. I want to do this and I need money for it. For somebody who comes from an upper middle class family, who has done respectable jobs, was it easy to ask for money? And I was giving nothing in return. I was only asking for a favor. It was terrible, it was embarrassing. However, it was a very, very humbling experience. In less than 11 days, 200 people got together from different sections of the society, contributed, gave us money to build something that could inspire them, that could inspire everybody out there. And this was also a moment when I realized I could do anything to build this platform. I could give whatever it takes. Like Geeta. She was married at 15. Geeta thought, okay, this is a good getaway. I'll get married because my father is very abusive. She had lost her mother. And she thought marriage is a good getaway from her abusive father. However, Geeta was proved wrong from day one when her husband started abusing her, when her husband started raping her. So Geeta thought, okay, let me give him a kid, probably, maybe, then he'll change. Geeta was proved wrong again. In the 3rd month of her pregnancy, Geeta tells in one of her speeches that she gave at one of her events, she says how her husband would keep his knees on her for 15 to 20 minutes, hit her with a cylinder, and abused her, and even during her pregnancy, continued to rape her. When Geeta forcefully gave birth to her second child, one day she woke up and she realized, I cannot give this future to my children. I cannot give this future to myself. And she went out of the house. Homeless, no education, no employment. She left the house. Geeta stayed in Gurudwaras. She made 1,000 rotis every day. She would wash utensils and clean houses of people and cook at their places. She did everything it took to give herself a life of dignity. Today, Geeta is one of the most popular stunt women of India. She is the one who performs stunts for biggest of the actresses, Deepika Padukone, Aishwarya Rai, Alia Bhatt, Sonakshi Sinha. In fact, she is one of the only women of India who has done car and bike chases stunts. Geeta today has her own house in Malad, in Bombay. Geeta is happy. When Geeta was giving her speech at one of her events, there was one line she constantly kept saying. Despite everything she's been through, Geeta maintained, life बहुत अच्छी है, life ना बहुत सुंदर है. आपको बस मेहनत करना है उसे अच्छा बनाने के लिए. You know, there were no growth hacks, there were no shortcuts in her speech. And this was what inspired me about Geeta. Resilience, determination to give whatever it takes, to keep doing things shamelessly, ceaselessly, keep doing it. On Chaaipani, we are telling stories that bring us alive, that bring people like you and I alive. You know, you would say how, motivational speeches and motivational quotes are all on your WhatsApp, they are available everywhere. However, it is incredibly powerful when you hear the story of the person who's sitting next to you. Just look around. The person who's sitting right behind you. It's incredibly powerful when an 80-year-old Bhagwati Oza tells me in an interview that the formula to have a long, interesting, happy life is to always be curious. And then she moves aside and quietly tells me, and to stay single. It is incredibly powerful when a little child tells me the formula to be successful is to do your homework on time. It's incredibly powerful when you look around stories of people who are doing great work. We as the media have the power to bring people together, to bring communities together in a time where there are lakhs of people who are ready to sacrifice their lives for a self-made godman. We need to build communities together. We need to bring communities and micro-communities together and get them to do good work. And this is what we're building at Chaaipani. We're building a community of change makers, of entrepreneurs and innovators and artists and anybody and everybody who has an inspiring story to share and somebody who could inspire somebody else. Thank you.